Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. We are coming off the live edition of WWE SmackDown, which didn't really feel like that big of a show. And I figured it would be something more special because it was live and it was coming off the Royal Rumble. It was the first live arena show since the Rumble, but wasn't that big of a deal. However, I still got a lot of questions here regarding the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. We are on the road to WrestleMania. So let's get started here with the first one today from Shades on My Table. Hey Aaron, with the recent announcement that way more people subscribe to the network than the ones who canceled after the Royal Rumble, do you think this justifies WWE's booking of the card? I'm sure from WWE's perspective, they are absolutely justified. They're going to look at the numbers and they're going to say that, hey, we got a lot of people talking about the Royal Rumble and the Raw rating was above average, and that's a sign that the casual fans are interested. And whether the hardcore fans don't like Roman Reigns or if they love Roman Reigns, it doesn't really matter because it's the mainstream audience that WWE is trying to get invested in the WWE product, and Roman Reigns is the guy that they're trying to sell to the mainstream audience as the next big superstar. So when you look at it from that perspective, WWE will absolutely try to justify it. Do I feel that they're justified? I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a possibility that there are a majority of fans out there that like Roman Reigns a lot and feel that he is potentially the next big thing in WWE. And maybe it is just a very vocal minority of people that were upset about the Royal Rumble. And, WWE's attitude is if these people are going to complain and keep watching, then why change? Like I've said in previous videos, the only way WWE's ever going to make real change is if people start tuning out. They stop subscribing to the network. If WWE's network numbers remain steady and they continue to climb, if the ratings continue to remain steady, WWE's not going to make any changes. They will feel justified with what they're doing if the numbers continue to remain steady and continue to even slowly rise instead of decline. All right, this one comes from Noel804. Hey Aaron, I saw that WWE announced Cena versus Rusev for the Fastlane pay-per-view. Do you think that they are having the match now so Rusev can get a win before he ultimately loses at WrestleMania? That is very much a possibility. I mean, to me, that's really the only thing that makes sense, that Rusev gets the first win on John Cena and then John Cena gets his win back at WrestleMania. One would think that Cena's probably going to be the guy to end Rusev's undefeated streak of not being pinned or made to submit. I figured that much a couple months ago when there was all the talk about the WrestleMania matches. Where would John Cena fit into the WrestleMania card? I mean, he's definitely got to have a big match at WrestleMania. Of course, he's John Cena. So the idea is that WWE has built up this monster heel, and John Cena, representing America, representing the United States, is going to take out this evil Russian, and there'll be this huge feel-good moment at WrestleMania. So, I mean, that seems to be the end result. And I guess it would be nice for Rusev to get one win over John Cena to build him up leading up to the WrestleMania rematch. So I guess I'm fine with them doing two matches, one at Fastlane and then the second one at WrestleMania. All right, this one comes from CPW1978. Do you think Bubba Ray could have a decent singles run in WWE? And also, how will the US belt play in the Rusev-Cena feud? Well, real quick, since I was just talking about Rusev-Cena, I'm guessing the US belt is going to be a non-entity in this feud. WWE hasn't really made any kind of effort to elevate the US or IC titles. It would have been nice to elevate those titles, especially with Brock Lesnar being gone most of the time. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think WWE is going to put the US title on John Cena. So I'm guessing, in all likelihood, the US title is just going to be not discussed and not a factor in this feud. And WWE's not even advertising it as a US title match for Fastlane. So it would surprise me if the US title was on the line at WrestleMania and John Cena became US champion. Would be surprised to see that happen. And regarding Bubba Ray having a decent singles run, Right now, there's no indication he's going to be brought back. You know, it was apparently just a one-time deal for him to come in at the Royal Rumble. I'm guessing what's going to happen eventually, either this year or next year, we're going to see the Dudley Boys inducted into the Hall of Fame, Bubba Ray and Devon. I think it's more likely if there's any kind of last run, you know, you can market. It's better to market the Dudley Boys as a tag team and have them, you know, win the tag team titles one more time or something like that. That I see is more of a possibility than Bully Ray having a singles run in WWE. Got this one here from Titty Master 1000. Sup, Aaron, please answer in video. Do you think there will be an NXT title match at WrestleMania? To me, it seems like a no-brainer. Have Zayn versus Owens, Balor versus Neville. They could tear the house down and introduce them to a mainstream audience as well. I would love to see an NXT match at WrestleMania and have that group represented at the biggest show of the year. But I think the odds are against it because I think there's going to be the concern if you put, for instance, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania and you put that match on the card. There's a chance that those guys are going to outshine the guys that are already on the current roster. And WWE definitely doesn't want that. They don't want this opening match with the developmental talent overshadowing the guys that are on the main roster. And putting those two guys out there and having them wrestle for 5 minutes seems kind of pointless. So unless WWE was going to have those guys go out there and do a 20-minute match and let them have the opportunity to steal the show, then there's really no point in doing the match. So if you're going to do Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, it's best to have those guys on the main roster. All right, this one comes from Dave451985. If Daniel Bryan versus Dolph Ziggler happens at WrestleMania, where should it be on the card? It will most likely be the match of the night and impossible to follow. Well, the thing that these guys have that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens don't have is they are on the main roster. So one would think WWE would give these guys more time and more of an opportunity to go out there and steal the show. But then again, with Roman Reigns having to look strong in the WrestleMania main event, I could see WWE telling Bryan and Ziggler to hold back. And I think it would be very unlikely that WWE would put that match as the final match. But, you know, the final match at WrestleMania should be the best match of the show. So Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler, if WWE is going to allow them to go out there and steal the show, then that match should go on last, clearly. But Roman Reigns has to be the star of the show. He has to be in the closing match. So because of that, I think that, you know, Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler would probably get a good spot on the card, but I don't know if WWE would allow them to go out there and have the match of the night or have the kind of match that they can have. I could see WWE trying to hold them back and telling them, you know, to just not do a lot of crazy stuff and not go all out. That's just what I see happening. Because if those guys were allowed to go out there and truly steal the show, you know, it would hurt whatever matches would follow it. And I just don't see WWE putting Bryan and Ziggler on last to close out the show. All right, this one comes from Chris Mace 39628. With The Rock appearing at the Royal Rumble, could we see The Rock make an appearance at WrestleMania 31, and what role would it be? Well, I don't think The Rock is wrestling because he has another movie. I believe it's the Fast and Furious movie that's coming out in the spring, and he's going to be doing advertising for that. He's going to be very busy. If he does appear at WrestleMania, you know, he might appear at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and maybe he'll make a cameo at WrestleMania, doing some kind of backstage segment. I'm not sure what you can do with The Rock because you already did that angle with him and Hogan and Austin at last year's WrestleMania. So what would you do this year with The Rock being able to do something at WrestleMania but not wrestle? So I think it's very much up in the air if he actually does appear on the WrestleMania 31 show. And I got a final question here from OMC36. Hey Aaron, since Kane lost the casket match on SmackDown, do you think he will be written off TV for a while and maybe come back with a better gimmick and not the whole corporate Kane thing with the slacks and the dress shoes? Nope. I don't think we will be seeing Kane disappear. I think that in all likelihood he's going to be back on Raw. He's going to somehow continue the feud with Daniel Bryan, and it's just going to go on and on and on for all eternity. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to see some kind of makeover with Kane, but he's already gone back and forth between corporate Kane and putting on the mask again. I mean, it's just ridiculous now, and it's gotten to the point where I don't even care what they do with Kane because they've just gone back and forth so many times. I'm just tired of it. And would not surprise me at all to see Kane back on Raw attacking Daniel Bryan, and that feud somehow continues. So that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to send in a question, go to spring.me/AaronRift. With that being said, I will see you guys next time for more No DQ&A video.